What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Track Talk, a part of the Lactic Acid Network. I am your host, Dominique Smith, and today I have a very quick episode, but we have to talk about the Chi-Town Marathon and the great things that went down specifically for the men of Team USA, because there were some question marks going in, but some phenomenal performances went down, took place, and we're going to talk about the significance. It's a short episode, but there's a couple things we need to break down as we head into the Olympic marathon trials in February. But first, a word from our sponsors. Calling all runners. Are you looking to elevate your running? Would you like the opportunity to be coached by some of the best minds in the sport today, as well as elite marathoners and Olympic athletes? Look no further than Next Best Run. They're committed to helping you achieve your running goals. The company was founded by two-time Olympian and elite marathoner Kim Connolly, as well as her husband and longtime coach, Drew Wardenberg. They've assembled a dynamic coaching roster that wants to help you reach your full potential in running, regardless of if you've never run before or if you've been running for your entire life. They offer personalized and adjustable coaching plans that meet your running needs, but those plans will take your running to the next level, y'all. They specialize in communication and communicating with their athletes, so do not be afraid to email, text, or set up video chats as much as needed. They also do group runs around the country, so who knows, they may be coming to your city. And guess what? It gets even better. The good news is you get all of these amazing features at an elite price. If you're interested in signing up, visit www.nextbestrun.com or follow them on social media. Let the staff at Next Best Run take your running to the next level. So for those who don't know, last Sunday, the Chicago Marathon took place, obviously in Chicago, and it was incredible. The action was hot on the men and the women's side in both fields. Y'all, we saw records. Safan Hassan, she balls out on the track, but she came back, and she came back with a vengeance, running 2:13, the second fastest time all time. We know in the men's race, the world record got broken. Crazy time, 2 minutes 35 seconds. Man, what in the world is? It's crazy just to even think about it. So we know those records went down on the American side. The Americans did extremely well. They had multiple athletes on the men and women's sides in the top 10. Obviously, Desi Linden broke Dina Castor's record when it comes to the Masters side of it. The Masters marathon time, Desi Linden ran 2:27, which did break that record. But I want to talk about the USA men, Team USA's men. And this is only going to be a quick episode, but we have to talk about it because I have been vocal on, not so much this show, but I have said what many people have echoed. I don't know if we are going to send the men to Paris. I just don't know, because none of them had the qualifying standard time coming in. They were close. I know that the time was, attempted to be reached in Boston, but Boston is a difficult course to run. You're not running too many world records on that course, especially this year with the weather, this past year with the weather and how it all played out. So I was thinking it has to be soon. It has to be Chicago. Not sure if it will be New York, because New York obviously is in November and it's just running closer to February. So you have to talk about recovery. You have to talk about, really retraining, outlining what went wrong, fine tuning some of the little details. The men exceeded my expectations and then some, and I think they exceeded the expectations of others, specifically two guys. And let's just cut. I'm not even going to bury the lead here. Not only did they they're going to Paris. Let's just call it what it is. They're going to Paris. We have two men that are going to Paris, and I'm really happy for them, man. I'm really excited about what I saw. Clayton Young finished in 7th place. And I'm butchering it. I have all the notes up on my computer, but he was the second fastest American, and his time was 2:08. That was a 3-minute personal best. But Connor Mantz went out, balled out, ran 2:07, and guess what? That was really, really good for him. New PR, and listen, he's on the team, he's on the squad, and so those two times, made it for Paris. So they're going to be going. As it stands right now, they are going to the Olympics. Now they can come to Orlando, everything can shake out. People start popping 2:05, 2:06s, and it's a little bit of a battle. But right now, Young and Mantz, two training partners, they are going to the Olympic Games in Paris. I think this is huge because now, obviously, you're still 6 minutes away. You're still 7 minutes away, rather, from, the world record. So we're not talking about the world record, but you want to be in contention. You want to, it looks bad if we don't send anybody over. That's just the way it is. It's a bad look if we don't send anybody over. And the hype has been towards the women's, deservedly so, because what the women are doing is incredible. Emily Sisson, Emma Bates, Cara D'Amato, so many like that women's race. Molly Seidel, who just came back and showed out. Gabby Rucker. There's just so many women for Team USA that really will be vying for those 3 spots. It's incredible. There's so many people who have that standard time, and there's so many people we don't talk about because maybe they're not one of the big names, so to speak. Obviously, listen to Lactic Acid. We're interviewing everybody because guess what? They are, at least in my eyes, everybody's a superstar. Essentially, if you're running 26.2 miles, listen, that is nothing to sneeze at. That is difficult. People can't even walk that far. It's just an amazing accomplishment. And to do it in such a fast time of 2 hours and some change, man, come on now. So many people are going to be vying for that spot, but the men don't get the same fare and flair because they haven't been as consistent as the women. This was a huge step, I believe, in the men's marathon. Now, Clayton Young, Connor Mantz, training partners, ran at BYU. Obviously, there's a 4-year difference between them. Clayton Young is 30, Connor Mantz is 26. But I really believe Connor Mantz, he has really kind of been carrying. He's been the guy that you're like, okay, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. But the fact that the 2 of them were able to qualify is good. But I think what is also important, not just that we have 2 spots secured for Paris, but the qualifiers who were close. So we are really looking at Galen Rupp. Galen Rupp has been around. If you know anything about track and field, he has been around, ran for the Nike Oregon Project. We all, everybody has their opinion on that, but he was a baller when he was on the track. And so you look at Galen Rupp. He finished as the 3rd fastest American and 8th overall, running 2:08.48. Sam Chalanga finished as the 4th fastest American, 9th overall, 2:08.50. And so just a few seconds, essentially, 2:08.26 was the qualifying time for Paris. So we have a chance to get 3, but the unique thing about Orlando is the course is flat. The course is flat, the course is fast. And so it really opens up the opportunity. But I think the importance of this is we needed to see somebody push that standard to where people have to respond. And I think that is kind of the changing of the guard when it comes to the men's marathon and the importance of what they did in Chicago. Granted, Chicago's a fast course. You still have to capitalize on that. It's a bad look if we don't send anybody to the Olympics in Paris. It's a really bad look. But the fact that the marathon is evolving. The marathon is evolving. 2 minutes, bro. 2 minutes flat for the marathon. 2:13. Safan Hassan was on world record pace. And so the fact that, she barely missed it, it's like, my goodness. And it's just crazy just to see how fast everybody is going, how fast everybody is elevating. And so it was necessary in my opinion, at least, for Team USA to say, hey, okay, you know what? We're good. We are going to take that step just to make sure that we're not missing out on what is becoming of the marathon. Kelvin Kiptum, for whatever reason, had a brain fart when I was, referring to who broke the men's marathon record. So I do, apologize for that. So I think it was a big deal. I'm really looking forward to seeing who takes that next step. Is it Galen Rupp? Is it somebody else that kind of comes? And by the way, they are the only 2 being Young and Mantz who have beaten Galen Rupp multiple times in the marathon, which is something definitely not to sneeze at, especially when you're being a legend. So I know for all my sprint fans, you're like, man, what are we doing with this marathon stuff? Listen, we have marathon fever down here in Orlando. This was just a little quick video, just a few thoughts that I had. The importance of the qualification of Young and Mantz, and just how much it meant the fact that they qualified. They have those 2 bids, at least 2 bids. There's only 3 people can go. Only 3 people can go. Listen, we're going to have plenty more marathon coverage in so many unique ways when it comes to interviews, when it comes to different stories that are being written. So you do not want to miss it. Stay tuned. Please tap in. Lactic Acid Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter. You can find us on TikTok, so many other places that you can find us. Wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Listen, leave a good review if you love what you're hearing, because it helps the channel grow and it helps more people find the channel, and it just helps build our little community here. Listen, we're going to get to the sprints, the hurdles, the jumps, college track and field, high school track and field, and obviously the pros. It's a huge year. It's the Olympic year. But listen, first things first, we got to cover all the sport. The Olympic trials is on deck, and it is coming faster than you think, faster than the speed of light. Essentially, February is almost here before you know it. And I just have to put a little thing. It's okay to put your Christmas tree up. People say it's too early. No, it's never too early. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So tap in, subscribe. Appreciate everybody watching. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll catch you next time.